Yes guys, it's Jando. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make the bass from Skantia's track Yoyo Bop. Let's get straight into the recreation.
My computer is picking up a strange signal.
If you want to get sample packs and presets packs in the same style as this, then head over to jandodnb.com. Go check out some of the dark roller packs on there. They're full of these dark jump up roller style tracks, perfect for this kind of production. So yeah, that's the track. Let's jump straight into how I made it. So starting off with the fresh serum patch, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn on the sub oscillator and oscillator B. We're going to go to the sub oscillator and drop this -2 octaves and take the level all the way to 0. We're then going to head to oscillator A, and we're going to take the random phase all the way down on oscillator A and do the same for oscillator B. And also on oscillator B, we're going to take down the level to 0. After this, we're just going to flick on our FM from B on oscillator A, and then we're going to go ahead and choose our wavetable. So for oscillator A, we're going to go to digital and down here to Tigra. And for oscillator B, we're going to go here, basic shapes, and use the sine wave. So for oscillator A, we're going to take the octave down -2. We're going to push this wavetable position up to 104. And then for the FM from B, we're going to do this at 25%. So far we should have a sound like this. We're also playing in the key of D. Moving on from this, we're going to go ahead and turn on our filter. We're going to go down to MISC, and then we're going to go to Format 1. Once we've done this, we're going to pull our cutoff slightly back, and we're going to do 277 Hz. So I'm just going to type that in, 277, which just brings us literally the tiniest bit back. We're going to push our res up to about 45%. We're going to push our drive up as well. This is going to be again 45%. And then for our format, it's going to be the same, about 45%. And that kind of gives us that tone of the voice bass. So now we need to create the shape of this voice bass. So, but to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take LFO1 and assign this to the cutoff on the format. And we're going to set this cutoff here at 22. 23 will work as well. And then we're going to go down here into the LFO1, set this to trigger. We're going to turn on dot. We're going to do 1/8 dot on the rate. And that's going to give us that sound now. And that's literally the yo-yo bass done. But we're just going to add a few effects and stuff to spice the bass up and make it sound a bit more presentable for production. So we're going to take our distortion. We're going to head over here and we're going to go to downsample. For the drive, we're going to have the drive at about we're going to go from between 15 to 20%. And that's going to kind of add that like crispiness over the top. It almost sounds like alien kind of shit. Next, we're going to grab an EQ. And we're going to put this underneath the distortion. And for this, we're just going to do a slight boost in the mid-range. Something as simple as that. Followed by hyperdimension. Now this is just to give us that little bit of stereo width. So for the mix here, we're going to pull this quite far down to about 10%. And then on the other side for the dimension, we're going to go for about 15%. We're going to boost the mix up to about 25% there. And that gives us that nice width to the bass. So next for the compressor. For the compressor, we're just going to pull this threshold back slightly. We'll probably go for about -13 dB. We're going to push our gain up here to about 13.5. And then we're going to turn on our multiband. And we're going to leave this as is now. That's going to be coming through pretty loud now. So we're just going to turn down our master volume. That'll be fine like that. So that's the patch on its own. There's not too much more you really need to do with it, and you can use this patch as is now. And it sounds really good, but we're going to add a bit of post-processing now. So for the first bit of processing, I'm going to go down here and we're going to go to Serum Effects. Now this is an additional plugin that you get with normal Serum. It's literally just the FX tab on a standalone plugin. If you don't have this downloaded, head over to your Splice or your XFER Serum Records website and see if the download is available, which it should be if you've paid for Serum. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn on a filter here, and we're going to turn on band reject. Once we've done that, we're going to pull this back and set this to 43 Hertz. We're going to push our res up to 42%. We're going to do a little boost on the drive, probably about 12%. The width is going to stay the same, and the pan is going to stay the same. So right now we have a bass sounding like this. We're just going to pull this mix back here to about 25%. And that's just going to blend this new filter into it slightly. So we're going to take some of the the harmonics and the distortion and saturation that we've created from this filter, and we're just going to mix it in to the bass that we've already created. So it's nothing too overpowering, nothing too harsh. Now what we're going to do is grab another Serum Effects just to use another filter. Here we're going to go down to Misc and add bass. For this one, we're going to push the cutoff all the way to the right. We're going to do the res at 81%. We're going to boost the drive 25%. We'll leave the through and pan as is, and then we have a sound like this. So very, very heavily distorted, heavily saturated. And now we're going to blend this in so that we just use some of the tones that we've got from this, and that just extra crispiness of distortion. We're going to blend it in, have it kind of sat at the back of the mix of this sound. So to blend this in, we're just going to pull the mix back to about 39–40%. And now that distortion is more of a background layer and just adds a bit of kind of depth to the bass, if that makes sense. So this is optional, you don't have to have this on, but for me it fills out that bass more and I prefer how it sounds. So next step for this bass is going to be adding a bit more distortion. So we're going to be using Decapitate for this. And what we're going to do with our Decapitator here is we're going to boost this up to about 6.5. We're going to turn that auto output off, boost this back to its original. Low cut's going to stay the same, tone and high cut are all going to stay the same. And then we're going to pull our mix back again. About here. Again, giving it that nice boost. Then we're going to head down and we're going to add our reverb. So we're going to pull up Pro R. And for our Pro R, we're just going to do a low pass on like the midsection here. We're going to pull our mix back quite a bit, probably to about 10%. And here we're going to do about 0.8 seconds. And that's sounding good. And to finish this off, our last bit is just going to be an EQ, and we're going to roll off this low end around 90 Hertz. That way we can add a sub underneath. Now you can play these two together with our sub. It sounds super, super sick. So now we can play them together, get rid of our original patch.
My computer is picking up a strange signal.
And that's how you make a Skantia, the bass from Skantia Yoyo Bop, a super, super sick sound. The whole track is full of sick sounds, to be honest. But yeah, this is one of the coolest ones in there. That whomping frog grot noise, however you describe it. But yeah, if you want to get samples and presets like this, head over to my page, jandodnb.com. There's a bunch of sample packs on there. Dark rollers, dark jump up, all of them full of these kind of sounds. And if you want this specific sound, I will drop the original patch onto my Patreon if you don't want to follow through this tutorial and make it yourself. Nice one.